r/TalesFromTechSupport, episode 19. Not a flaw anymore, it's now a feature. I worked as a project manager for an engineering company for about 10 years or so. This is about one project, where we built 10 custom control panels for a customer a month of basically two very similar design. The difference was whether it had a single or dual gauge pressure controls installed. 1 month they ordered the 10 of the single design and our shop accidentally laid out and built the dual design by mistake. They refused the order and we shelved all the cases and back panels that were drilled for the extra gauge and regulators. This was not a good thing, but not the end of the world either. They haunted my shop foreman as he could see them on the shelf every day while he worked. Many months later we get a rush order for 10 of the single units. Unfortunately, these units were spec'd for Allen Bradley enclosures, and at that time there were none to be had anywhere in the country. Customer is screaming they need these units as soon as possible. I tell my shop guy to get the cases down and to put hole covers in the extra holes for the pressure regulator, lay out and use the dual design on the back panels for the gauges. Now I call the customer and explain that I have made an engineering change for our finished product. It now comes in a dual control ready enclosure only. This will reduce the number of variants, inventory, and all certification issues that we have to deal with. Now if they need to upgrade a panel from single to dual in the field it is a breeze. Add the gauge, the pressure controls, a couple of terminal blocks and there you go. Bob's your uncle, as some say. I showed my boss the plan I had hatched, and he laughed at me. Brilliant. So, you are telling me we can fill the order right away with parts on hand that they refused months ago? That is correct, sir. Just wanted to run it by you before I hit the customer with our new streamlined manufacturing process. The customer was all for it, thought it would be great for simplifying production and inventory management, also realized this was a real selling point for their salespeople as well. Best of all, I got to get rid of those panels staring down on us for so many months. No bonus, no raise, but I did receive the gratitude of a certain shop guy. Thanks, TB. I set fire to the shredder. This is a self-burn, these are rare, but I'll caveat this that I was it, and I was the apprentice. They paid me pittance, and I had to accept that some days I was free labor. Anyway, working at a local council I was at, we had a metric shitload of old dot matrix ribbon fed printers. These constantly chugged out reports from legacy systems. Gotta love government, hey. Anyway, the law said this stuff needed to be archived for 7 years, and half of it, actually 99% of it, was garbage reports you read once, at the printer, and let fall into the box. So, here I am, 7 years later working there when heaps of this stuff comes up for permanent archiving, which was great, as a lot of it was in our back room, so the boss graciously volunteers me as tribute to get it done on the basis of it helping the department get some room back. So here I am, doing what I'm shown, feeding a pile of papers into the shredder, tearing off about a dozen at a time, and letting them run through. For the young ones, here's a picture of the printer paper setup, https://encrypted/tbn0.static.com/images, q equals tbn%3 and 9 gctcrnzlsxb8lsadkjvp35fwptsrxkjrd_sk_htbs8lv8 your ijkm, so that you understand what I'm about to say. Now, me being bright thought fuck it, I'll get more done by running the whole sheets through, thinking the office lady that told me to do it manually was an idiot. I was 17. Anyone I didn't agree with was an idiot. Anyway, I read the shredder up to 8 sheets at a time it says on the front. So I line up 8 boxes. I take the top sheet off every one and make it into a neatly stacked ribbon. I feed it into the shredder and admire my work. I'm getting 8 boxes done in the time it used to take me to do one, half that. I'm going across the road for a coffee. Yeah, on my way back, coffee and ham, cheese, tomato croissant in hand, I see the fire alarm going off, people evacuating, and the fire brigade screaming up and running inside. I locate the department and we all have a chuckle and go down to get coffees. Me to drink mine and them to get some. Midway through coffee my boss gets a call. I hear the "really? And you sure? And that doesn't sound right and okay, I'll tell him." So he puts down the phone and explains to me that while yes, my idea was great, and he sees exactly where I was coming from, the shredder was never designed for continuous operation eating ribbons of paper. The duty cycle on the shredder was a whopping 45 seconds. We found out when the Gilbarco guy came out. We estimated the shredder actually lasted 15 minutes. Props though, I was off the hook, as when they pulled the shredder apart they found that it had a thermal overload to prevent this, and that had failed. So really, the printer should have turned off before catching fire. I still had to clean it all out and throw all the burned stuff in the bin. The fuser that fused. This is the story of the printer in a small dental practice that I described in my previous post. https://www.com/usig/we_just_thought_comment/q6/we_udm_sourc with a manager who doesn't really listen. I'm part of a small tech support company which supports all types of businesses. This practice naturally had a waiting area with a receptionist desk. Behind it were 2 PCs which had the dental software and a printer. The area behind the counter was rather small, as in you had to scoot behind whoever was manning the desk by pressing yourself against the wall behind it. The printer itself was placed on top of a small stool past the 2 receptionists against the far wall from where you entered. One fateful day the receptionist calls us because of a paper jam. They explain they tried to get it out, but only managed to rip off a few pieces. They are afraid to do anything else to prevent further damage, which I give them credit for. Not that it mattered, but you'll know why later. I make an appointment to come check it out ASAP, as they need to be able to print and don't have another option. On my way I go with some basic tools and cleaning stuffs to prevent any further jams. When I get there and set up my tools in the cramped area, I can see little bits of torn paper sticking out from where the paper usually comes out when printed. Usually you can solve such a jam by opening up some side panels, but there appears to be nothing there. Where is the paper stuck then? I soon come to the conclusion that I can't service this printer any further from that cramped location with the tools I had, and ask if I can take the printer with me to the office for further inspection and maybe additional help. Receptionist is okay with it, but in walks the manager. "You can't take that printer with you. I need to be able to print my forms." "But you can't print anyway." Going back and forth a bit, and he finally agrees if I set up an old Canon printer he had in storage or somewhere. I do the needful. When I take the printer back and pry it open, I finally found how it was jammed. The fuser apparently got dirty due to cheap refilled ink/toner cartridges that leaked too much ink/toner to handle. The fuser fuses the ink or toner to the paper using heat. We warned the practice the last time we had to clean it, and we advised to get better quality so we don't have to come back for it another month, as using refills is pretty much playing Russian roulette. Get a cartridge that's only refilled once, you're in luck. Get one refilled 6 times, you're going to have trouble. Also, your warranty is void when using these cartridges. Anyways, due to too much ink the paper sheets got stuck to the fuser roller one after another, and after sheet 3 the printer ate the paper. Explains why I couldn't get to it through the side panels. We contact a hardware partner to see what we can do, and they advise we just get a new printer because the fuser costs more than the printer. I know, doesn't make sense, but it's true. We contact the manager and explain how and why there's no warranty. He isn't happy of course, but knows we can't help it any further. We let him know we can order a new one for him and it will be there in 2 days. Sound familiar? Reference previous post. That's the last time we heard anything from him until about a week later. We need to set up his new printer because he can't. Why do you have a contract with us if you don't use it? We cold gotten it done in 2 days including setup.